In this video, I'm going to be showing you how to uninstall and reinstall the firing pin on the bolt of your Tippmann Arms M422. You're going to need a couple things. You're going to need your bolt, a hammer, and a punch. We've got a 30 seconds punch for this uninstallation, and we're going to need our bolt out of our firearm. So if you haven't taken it out, go ahead and take it out and place it top down on the table. This is because the top part of the bolt is flatter than the bottom side, and it's a little easier to rest it on the table this way while punching it out. You can use a punch block or whatever you so choose to punch the pins into, but I'm just going to be holding the bolt for this demonstration. We're going to get our bolt, we're going to get our punch, and we're going to insert the punch into the roll pin hole, and we're just going to go ahead and tap it out. As you can see, we get this little pin here, and we got our punch going through our bolt. We can go ahead and pull our punch out, and because this firing pin is under spring tension, it's going to go ahead and pop out of the bolt. You can go ahead and tap the back side of the bolt on the table to allow the firing pin and the firing pin spring to come out of the bolt. That's all you have to worry about as far as uninstalling the firing pin. You have your three parts here. You got the pin here, and then you got the firing pin spring and the firing pin. So if you want to do any cleaning of your bolt at this point, you can go ahead and take Q-tips to all these slots in here, or even in your firing pin slot to clear out that area. You can go in here with a swab and get in that hole if needed. But yeah, that's all you have to worry about as far as uninstalling. For reinstallation, we're going to do the same thing in reverse. We're going to get our firing pin, we're going to insert it into the firing pin spring. And you can kind of see how the firing pin's mounted in there. This pin just goes through this hole. So we're going to try to slide this firing pin into that hole there. Start it in that hole. Just drop the firing pin and just tip the bolt to allow the firing pin to, you might need to give it a little bit of a shake for it to drop in that hole. So it'll drop all the way in there. Next, you're going to need to kind of clock that firing pin with this hole facing towards the pin here, because it has to be lined up. So we're going to make sure it's hole to the sky, and we're going to push it in. And what I like to do is hold it in with my thumb. So you're not going to be able to see it as well while I'm pushing in with the thumb, but you can see it is indeed straight there. So I'm going to push it in, and then I'm going to insert the punch from the bottom, or I'm calling it the bottom side, but it's really the top side of the bolt. And this is just going to be a placeholder for our pin, our roll pin that's going to go through. I like to hold it with 2 fingers on the bottom here while I push this pin through, just so it doesn't fly out. So you can kind of see I've got the pin held in with this punch here, and I'm now inserting this pin in from the bottom side of the bolt. So now that I got this pin stuck into this hole in the bottom side of the bolt, I'm going to go ahead and tap it through the bolt, and it will then tap this punch out of the top side of the bolt. Now, as you can see, it's now flush with the bottom here. We want it to actually tap in a little bit further. There's less material up on the top here as opposed to the bottom, so we like to make it more flush on the top side than opposed to the bottom. So we're going to go ahead and set our bolt down on the table. Just give it a couple more taps. I'm gonna give it one more. So you might be able to see it slightly recessed, and then on this side you can also see it slightly recessed, but that's pretty much what you want. It's better to be even on the top side of the bolt here and just not sticking up than even here. But then you can check your function of your firing pin by pushing on the back of it with a tool. There we go. It was actually a little stiff at first. So that's how you can check your function. Mine was almost not functional there for a second until now it's stroking forward with spring tension. So that is what you want. You can also push on the back of it with that punch and look at how far your firing pin is stroking forward. So long as it doesn't go past the front face of the bolt, that's good. And so long as it's coming out of the bolt, then it is going to strike the casing fine. And as so long as the firing pin function is good, that is how you uninstall and reinstall the firing pin on the bolt of your Tippmann Arms M422.